Okay.
I've never been interviewed before.
Hey Juju.
That's not my name.
Hi. Would you like to say your name?
Hi, I'm Julia Eanes.
Okay. So Julia, today we're talking about the Boone climbing community, right? So we can just start off with if you want to tell me what the Boone climbing community means to you.
The Boone climbing community means to me like fellowship, I guess. Because when you're climbing, you get to climb with like groups of people usually. It's usually a partner sport because you need a spotter if you're bouldering, or if you're rope climbing, you need a belayer. So it usually requires some sort of fellowship, which is awesome for a community to have.
Nice. Do you think it means that same kind of thing to other people?
Maybe to people not as like, probably not. To me it means that, but to others it probably means like more competitiveness. I don't look at it as competitive because then it doesn't become fun. But to other people I'm sure it means something else.
Yeah. What do you enjoy the most about Boone climbing?
That's a tricky question. I don't know. The diversity of rock around here is really cool. You can travel 20 minutes to a boulder field and see some rock that's been climbed on for years and is super polished, or you can go 20 minutes towards Tennessee and see the barn boulders, which look like they've been untouched for years. So.
Sure. How would you describe this area to somebody from out of town?
I would describe Boone or rock climbing.
Boone.
I would describe the town of Boone as a college town, primarily, and then second it'd be just like a small western North Carolina town. Like it's got a small downtown. It has a lot of restaurants. Like it's like a typical little town that you would come to if you were to visit a college. But they're okay, yeah.
How would you describe this area in terms of like rock climbing?
In terms of rock climbing, I would say that these are tricky questions.
It's okay. Just whatever floats, no worries.
In terms of rock climbing, I would say it's a very popular hobby to be interested in Boone, because you can talk to almost anybody and everybody has some type of interest in the outdoors that comes to App, or who lives in Boone. It's hard not to, 'cause especially when you're surrounded by mountains and trails and rivers and rock.
True. Are there any places that you would like highlight to, if you were like telling somebody from out of town? What areas would you recommend to them, or kind of like be like, oh, this spot's sick, And do you think there's places that the locals kind of just like purposely keep to themselves and don't really tell people from out of town about?
If I was to tell someone from out of town what to do, depending on how comfortable they are with like exploring the outdoors, I would probably suggest going to Beacon Heights. It's a 0.2-mile hike, very awesome view at the top. But there's also like, depending on the season.
What about rock climbing spots though?
Oh, rock climbing spots?
Yeah.
You didn't clarify.
So all these questions kind of have to do with like rock climbing. So like, what climbing areas would you highlight?
I would
There's
highlight
climbing areas that locals kind of just keep to themselves.
No, you didn't say climbing areas.
Sorry.
I would highlight for people out of town probably Blowing Rock boulders, because it's easily accessible and easy to find. And there's a lot of routes there. And it's a clear trail. You can just do the whole loop, hit a bunch of different spots, and like find your car very easily. The Dump is another place you could suggest if they're into sport climbing. Convenient parking, very short approach, very easy to find.
Where do you derive excitement from in terms of climbing, especially in relation to Boone?
What was that?
What?
One more time.
Where do you derive excitement from in terms of climbing, especially in relation to Boone?
My excitement would be in relation to Boone. I guess, the people I get to climb with, because without the people around here, I would have no idea or interest in climbing, because I didn't know what rock climbing really was before I came to Boone. So,
Well, you didn't really know what climbing was, and you said you get excitement from like climbing with other people. Can you tell me about some of your favorite experiences climbing in Boone?
getting to climb with my life partner is a lot of fun. He makes it really exciting, and he's really strong. A lot of my friends, even though the sport of rock climbing is male oriented and focused, tends to be a lot of male climbers. Watching all my friends climb that are really strong gets me psyched. And being able to watch them do well encourages and like inspires me to also try hard and do my best. So.
Are there any specific climbs around here that you think are like really cool and memorable and classic?
I think for any like new climber, for me at least from my experience, Monkey Brain at Blowing Rock is a very like popular climb for when you're first getting into climbing. Everyone seems to like really want to do it. There's also climbs like Center 45 that's V3 but doesn't very feel like it. But that's apparently a mega classic around Boone. I guess like Smart Tom and Blowing Rock Boulders is a very popular climb. And then there's obviously Unwritten Law at the Dump. Everybody knows what that is if you were to ask any climber around Boone.
What are the climbers in your local community like?
A lot of them are very outdoorsy. Some of them don't like to shower. Some guys prefer to have long hair. Sometimes stereotypical hippie arises. But then there's also people like me who are just out there to have fun and that are less competitive with it. There's all types of climbers in the community.
Yeah.
Very diverse.
Are there any notable figures within the community? People that...
Probably the people who have been around Boone and established Boone climbing. I guess like Joey Henson and Dean. I don't know his last name. Probably them, because they are known for like establishing a lot of the rock climbing that we enjoy today.
Are there any ways in which the local Boone community supports the climbing community within?
Not really. The climbing gym is very supportive. But the town of Boone, or the towns of where the boulders are located, don't really seem to put a lot of effort into encouraging rock climbing. I guess there's people who maintain the trails, but a lot of it's just like find a pull off and like just hike up this little trail. Doesn't seem like if you go somewhere to like the Obed where it's like established, there's like park signs that say Boulder Fields this way. You're not going to find that here in Boone.
Yeah, it's kind of like the town of Boone doesn't let you climb on like Howard's Knob, for example. That's like right there in Boone. You'd think they'd want to support it and let people do it, but they're not really into it.
It may be the fact that Boone doesn't have a guidebook either.
Yeah.
Where the Obed has a guidebook, so there's people coming all over. Same with like the New River Gorge.
Yeah.
I'm sure the same with the Red River Gorge as well.
Yeah.
There's like people traveling.
True. What should visitors expect when they come to climb in Boone?
They should expect it to be hard. There's some sharp rock. That the trails aren't gonna be like the most obvious sometimes. Especially at Blowing Rock, there's a bunch of trees that have fallen. Kind of hard to find the path at one point in the loop. They should expect find other people out at the boulder fields. You're not going to have a boulder field to yourself out there, that's for sure. If you're lucky, you might. Yeah.
Is there anything you would change about your local community? Whether it's like the climbing community or whether it's like the local non-climbing community, just in terms, if it's like the local non-climbing community, in terms of like them being more supportive of climbers.
I would probably like to encourage more females in the sport of rock climbing around here. I know some lady climbers around Boone, but not very many. I don't know. It'd be awesome if Boone was more of a destination climbing, but I don't think Boone could sustain it because it's just a small town. Parking lots for boulder fields and climbing are very small. It would cause a lot of environmental degradation, but I don't really see much I would change.
Interesting.
But
Cool.
But then again, I haven't been involved with any other climbing community, so it's hard to compare it.
Alrighty.
My wrist hurts.